What dying on every planet would be like. Space is beautiful, but it's also incredibly dangerous. While Earth has its own share of deadly places, like volcanoes, deep oceans, and frozen wastelands, no place on our planet comes close to the horrors of dying on another world. Imagine stepping onto a planet where the air is filled with acid, where the pressure is so intense that your body is crushed instantly, or where winds faster than the speed of sound tear you apart. What would it actually feel like to die on Mercury, Venus, Mars, or even the gas giants like Jupiter and Neptune? In this video, we'll take a terrifying journey through the solar system and discover the worst possible ways to meet your end on every planet. Some of them will be instant, others will be agonizingly slow. Mercury. Mercury is often called the closest thing to hell in our solar system. During the day, it reaches a scorching 430 degrees Celsius, 800 degrees Fahrenheit. Hot enough to melt lead. The sun looms 3 times larger in the sky than on Earth, and there's no atmosphere to protect you from its deadly radiation. But the real horror comes when the sun sets. Because Mercury has no air to trap heat, temperatures plunge to minus 180 degrees Celsius, minus 290 degrees Fahrenheit almost instantly. That's colder than the coldest place on Earth. If you were caught between the day and night sides, half of your body would be boiling, while the other half would be freezing solid. Even worse, Mercury is constantly bombarded by meteors since there's no atmosphere to burn them up. So if the temperature doesn't kill you, a stray space rock might do the job. Venus. Venus is the real hell of the solar system. Its thick, yellow clouds trap heat so well that temperatures remain at a constant 475 degrees Celsius, 900 degrees Fahrenheit. Hotter than Mercury, despite being farther from the sun. This is thanks to a runaway greenhouse effect that turned Venus into a scorching wasteland. If you stepped onto the surface, you'd be crushed instantly by an atmosphere 92 times thicker than Earth's, equal to being 900 meters, 3,000 feet, underwater. But that's not all. The air is filled with sulfuric acid, which would eat through your suit and start dissolving your skin in seconds. And let's not forget the rain. Venus has occasional sulfuric acid rainstorms, but because the planet is so hot, the acid evaporates before it even hits the ground. This means you'd be boiled, crushed, and dissolved all at once. A death so painful, it's almost unimaginable. Mars seems welcoming compared to Venus, but don't let that fool you. The first thing you'd notice is the lack of oxygen, only 0.1% of Earth's levels. Without a suit, you'd suffocate in less than a minute. Next, the pressure is so low that your blood would start to boil. Your body fluids, saliva, tears, even the moisture in your skin would evaporate instantly, making your death incredibly painful. The freezing temperatures, minus 63 degrees Celsius or minus 81 degrees Fahrenheit on average, would then finish you off, turning your body into a frozen statue. And if you somehow survived all that, Mars has some of the biggest dust storms in the solar system, lasting for months and covering the entire planet. You'd be completely lost in a blinding, choking red haze. Jupiter. If you tried to land on Jupiter, you'd fall right through its thick clouds. The planet is mostly gas, with no solid surface to stand on. As you descended, you'd enter a layer of super hurricane storms, with winds over 600 kilometers per hour, 370 miles per hour. Going deeper, the pressure would increase so much that your body would be crushed within minutes. But let's say you somehow survived. Jupiter's deadly radiation would finish the job. It emits 1,000 times more radiation than Earth's worst nuclear disasters. By the time you reach the lower atmosphere, you'd be vaporized into nothing but atoms. Neptune. Neptune has the fastest winds in the solar system, reaching 2,100 kilometers per hour, 1,300 miles per hour, faster than the speed of sound. These winds would rip your body apart before the cold even got to you. Temperatures on Neptune can drop to minus 214 degrees Celsius, minus 353 degrees Fahrenheit, meaning any exposed skin would freeze solid in seconds. The air is also filled with methane, which absorbs red light and makes the planet look blue. If you fell into Neptune, you'd be torn apart and frozen at the same time. Saturn is famous for its beautiful rings, but stepping onto this planet would be a nightmare. Like Jupiter, Saturn is a gas giant with no solid surface, meaning you'd fall endlessly into its depths. As you descended, the pressure would crush you slowly, making your death agonizing. The winds on Saturn reach speeds of 1,800 kilometers per hour, 1,100 miles per hour, faster than most hurricanes on Earth. You'd be thrown around like a rag doll before your body was compressed into a tiny fragment. And then there's the radiation. Saturn's magnetic field creates intense radiation belts, meaning you'd suffer extreme radiation poisoning before you were even crushed. Uranus may look calm, but it's one of the strangest planets in the solar system. First, it's tipped on its side, meaning its poles get 42 years of constant sunlight and then 42 years of total darkness. If you fell into Uranus, you'd pass through an atmosphere full of methane, which smells like rotten eggs. But the real horror starts deeper. The pressure would turn the hydrogen and methane into a sea of liquid metal, meaning you'd be dissolved in a metallic ocean before even reaching the core. Scientists also believe Uranus might rain diamonds deep within its atmosphere. But don't get too excited. If a diamond storm didn't crush you, the planet's minus 224 degrees Celsius, minus 371 degrees Fahrenheit temperatures surely would. Pluto. Even though Pluto was downgraded from planet status, it's still a fascinating place. But trying to survive here? Impossible. Pluto's surface is covered in frozen nitrogen, and temperatures drop to minus 240 degrees Celsius or minus 400 degrees Fahrenheit, cold enough to freeze oxygen solid. If you took off your helmet, your lungs would crystallize instantly. But what's truly terrifying is Pluto's thin atmosphere. When it moves closer to the sun, the surface ice turns into gas, creating a temporary atmosphere. But as Pluto moves away, that atmosphere freezes and falls back down as snow, meaning you'd literally suffocate in a blizzard of frozen air. Bonus, a black hole. If you think the planets were bad, let's take this a step further. What if you fell into a black hole? First, you'd feel nothing at first. But as you got closer, the force of gravity would stretch your body apart, a process called spaghettification. Your head would be pulled much faster than your feet, making you thinner and longer until you literally ripped apart at the atomic level. But the strangest part? From an outside observer's perspective, you'd appear to slow down and freeze in time at the event horizon. You'd look stuck there forever, while in reality, you'd be crushed into nothingness. So now we know, dying on any planet besides Earth is a terrible idea. Some places will boil you alive, others will freeze you instantly, and some won't even give you a solid place to stand before crushing you. It's a reminder of how special Earth really is. We may dream of space travel and colonization, but if we ever step foot on another world, we'd better come prepared, or we might not last very long. Which planet do you think has the worst way to die? Let us know in the comments.